All right, folks. So we are doing another live here. Let me welcome all to the channel RBS Broadcasting. Remember, we do live streaming as well as special event promotion and that sort of thing. Contact us for more information. Right now, we at Fort Charlotte, St. Vincent, and not too sure about the height where we at, but I have somebody here who know quite a lot about Fort Charlotte. I've been around this area for well over 10
10
plus,
years.
better over just about 10 years or so. So introduce yourself. Tell me who you are.
Evan Oliver. Everyone know me as Bunny,
Eban Oliver. So,
or maybe the radio man.
the radio man. Oh, that.
Always special around the town.
All right, Eban. So we are currently looking at the entrance here going up to Fort Charlotte. Tell us what we should expect when we get up there.
You expect to see the most of the site of the structure,
Mm-hmm.
the way it was constructed.
Right.
No cement at that time, no steel. It was all of more like brick
Mm-hmm.
from the British.
Mm-hmm.
And the height you are looking at, it will be 636 feet above sea level.
636
6 feet
feet.
above sea
Wow,
level.
that's
In
that.
meters, that will be 200 meters
Okay.
to
So
be average.
so this is above sea level.
Definitely.
All right. So let's go ahead and let's see what the fort has to offer. It's a beautiful day, by the way, people.
And many know that it's called Fort Charlotte,
Mm-hmm.
and the name come about Fort Charlotte because of the king wife.
The Fort Charlotte. So Fort
He
Charlotte.
named it after his wife,
So his wife's name was Charlotte.
King George III
Mm-hmm.
of Britain.
Mm-hmm.
Sent his crew here to build the fort,
Mm-hmm.
which is John Major there. Also, he named the fort after his wife, Elizabeth, which is Fort Charlotte. So it's Queen Charlotte,
Mm-hmm. Interesting information there, Ivan.
which
Never
is
know that.
completed at 1806.
So this structure was completed in 1806, and it's still standing here today. Ah, all right. So let's go up and see what the view is like at Fort Charlotte. Those of you who are listening or viewing this outside of St. Vincent, let me welcome you to visit St. Vincent and explore some of the historic places such as this one, Fort Charlotte, and doing a quick tour today, just so that you can see what Fort Charlotte has to offer. And Iban, a very helpful guide, and also a person who you'll find from time to time working here, will provide me with additional information.
So as we know, this
Mhm.
was also the gateway to the fort.
This is the gateway to the fort.
As you can see, the structure, it was not permanent like this. It was actually a drop.
A
It
drop,
was
a
a
drop,
lift-
a
was
drop
a lift
bridge.
bridge.
Okay,
So it would have closed off the tunnel
right.
from enemy getting in.
Okay, so all
So
here.
there was a lifted gate,
So that's why you have like
a ditch,
a glitch here. Oh, okay.
which we will call this a moat.
Right, right. I can see it.
So this glitch will be a moat.
Mm-hmm.
So the enemy can get over that easily.
Okay.
So when it's
So you,
certain time after guard, the tunnel will be locked off,
right,
keeping the enemies out.
right. So instead of a door, you have a bridge,
Definitely
which prevent others
from crossing over
from crossing
that
over.
easily.
So we are currently on. This is what would have been the bridge you're
The
referring to,
entrance
the entrance, right,
to the fort.
right, and this is where we come,
Come from
right, and in the background is capital city Kingstown.
Kingstown,
Mm-hmm.
Baliso, Bataware, Beckware, Canawan, Mairo, Union Island, and there's a slight look of Grenada off in the west.
So you could actually see Grenada on a good day
Yeah,
from this
definitely.
location. So this is the view, and it's a beautiful day actually here on the island of Saint Vincent. All right, Ivan, let's go inside and see
So we are currently under the undermine,
this.
right directly under the lighthouse.
Okay, so this is directly under the lighthouse. There's a lighthouse actually up here.
Runs by the Port Authority.
Mhm.
And according to history, the fort was never used for the purpose that it was built for.
Oh, it was never used for the purpose.
Because, as we know, Christopher Columbus was killed 14th of March, 1795.
Mm-hmm.
That's 11 years after the fort finished.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, 1806 is 11 years after
Uh-huh.
1795
Okay.
when the fort was completed. So the fort was never used for the purpose that it was actually built for.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Chatelier, our only paramount chief,
Mm-hmm.
who was killed at Dorset Hill,
Mm-hmm. That's straight ahead.
where was led by a group of British armed men.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the leader of the armed men of the British soldier was Ralph Abercrombie.
Mm-hmm.
I repeat, Ralph Abercrombie was the name of the leader of the British crew who marched up to Dorset Hill and assassinated our chief paramount, Joseph Chatelier, taking many of our people in captivity.
Mm-hmm.
6 months taken over to Baliso.
Mm-hmm.
Then 6 months later, off to Honduras on a little island similar to Baliso called Rotten Island.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Heard that
they
name before.
make their way over to the larger island Honduras, then to Belize.
Mm-hmm.
Those who remain here who escaped went to Greg's,
Mm-hmm.
then all further to Fancy,
Mm-hmm.
which is beyond the volcano.
Right.
That's where now we have the Carib village,
Right.
now known as the Fancy and Oria
Mm-hmm.
area.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Great information there, Iban.
Good night.
And now we are seeing a flat area here. On the fort.
Open compound yard up there.
This is the open compound that you call it. All right. And we're seeing a building here on the left.
Water tank.
This is a water tank. And this was what used to is it still active?
Not inactive, but
Okay.
it was used to provide water for the soldiers.
Okay. So this was used to provide water for the soldiers.
The
All
other
right.
structure beside it was actually used as offices for the generals and higher command,
Mm-hmm.
barracks and other sorts.
Okay.
You had on the other side you have cells was provided for any capture of any
So this will be on this location over here.
over there. Yeah, that would have been
So this area will be housing the captured soldiers or enemy,
yes, anyone the capture. But it was never used as water
but was never used as that. You have any idea why it was never used for the purpose that it was built for?
because, as I said, 1795, Joseph Chatelier was assassinated by the British, and his followers, most of them, was captured and taken off the island. So the fort was still under construction.
Mm-hmm.
So beyond that, we became independent under the same British, where slavery has become less, more vulnerable. So the slavery became abolished around that time,
Mm-hmm.
where we became more independent in 1979.
Mm-hmm.
On to this day, still under the British.
Okay.
As
And
you can look down here, there
tell
is,
us what we are seeing here. I'm seeing an old abandoned structure in the water. What is
it's
that?
like a man-made box.
Like a man-made box. Water is
It's
rushing in
actually
there.
called a bat.
A bat.
A bat.
A bat.
Bat,
How you spell that?
as in BATH,
Oh, a bat. Right.
yeah,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
where you shower.
Okay.
But it's actually to sit in and let the water rinse it.
So why was that built?
It was built for the purpose of the leprosy patients.
Oh, so
So the salt is to help to clean the rash,
right,
clean all the rash on the skin from the
right.
bed soles and all this stuff.
So this is what we are seeing way in the distance.
And it's always kept at
Mhm.
a clean substance because there's
What?
goes in and out,
Right, I could see water going in and out
and
one
there are
side.
steps going down into it, so they could have go into it and sit.
Okay.
So it still remains there.
Where was the patient's housed?
First, as you can look over there,
Mm-hmm.
there's a green piece of forest, and you
Yeah.
see a piece of girdle,
Right.
iron.
Uh-huh.
That's
Right.
an old
Just behind
structure.
the trees there.
That
Uh-huh.
was the first military hospital
Mm-hmm.
run by the military because it was more quarantine because of the disease was so contagious.
Mm-hmm.
Then they removed them from the years after
Mm-hmm.
and went to that last structure. So that
Which is where we seen those
those
dishes.
dish that was the last hospital.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Then after all these things has been come to pass where they find medication and
Mm-hmm.
proper study to
Mm-hmm.
get rid of leprosy and cholera and all those stuff.
Right.
That structure became abandoned. Then it's been so either leased or took over by the Carib Cable,
Right.
which Carib Cable is the one that put the dish there.
Right.
Now sold to the
To flow.
Flow,
Mm-hmm.
which was former Lime.
Right. Right.
So
So
that's
that's what's
now
happening at that
this
location.
location right now,
All right.
which is Flow.
Right. Good stuff there, Iban. So we're walking across the grassy area here on the top of Fort Charlotte. And I'm seeing some canyons pointing out.
That's another good reason
Mm,
to ask
mm-hmm.
why many people might be focusing on why the cannons are facing
Uh-huh. Why?
inland
Right.
and not at sea.
Right. Because this is actually pointing
Inland,
inland.
all of them.
All the cannons, and we have some to the top as well,
We have,
which we'll
we
visit in
are
a
the
short while.
only, I think we are the only one in the Caribbean have them pointing inland
Okay.
because the threat was never from the sea.
Okay.
The threat was always
So
about
our threat here in St. Vincent
was
was
always
inland,
inland.
inland, and that threat came from who?
The threat was actually the British was afraid of the Caribs,
So
and the fierceness
so the Caribs was the enemy.
was the enemy of the British.
So the British point the cannons
Yeah, preparing for any
towards the
attack.
Caribs, preparing for
Any attack.
any attack.
But keep it in mind that the fort never used for the purpose.
It was never
And
used for
all
that
the
purpose.
cannons came way after the fort was completed in 1806.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
So
the
so
cannon,
while the fort was in operation, there were no cannons.
there was no cannon.
So the
And they
cannon
never used.
and they never used.
But they
Interesting.
was actually preparing just in case that that of Châteauneuf didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
They were still expecting that attack,
Mm-hmm.
but it never happened
Mm-hmm.
because they took out the chief and the followers became captured and
Oh,
taken away from the island.
okay.
So then it's taken over by the British.
All right. So, folks, if you are watching, we are at Fort Charlotte, St. Vincent, and we are exploring
I guess we could take a peek in
a bit of it today. A lot of information is here, and the let's see what's on the inside here. We're gonna go on the inside.
I guess we should get a little look at all of them.
Yeah, you mind telling us what's happening in here, Ivan?
These are the painting of what happened in history about all what I just outlined to you.
Okay. Good
So if you
afternoon.
take a look from
I'm from St. Vincent, right here. Yeah.
his name is Rennie King.
So, good location. A lot of
This
paintings.
is what I was explaining to you of the exiling of the people
Right.
of the island off to Baliso.
Mm-hmm.
The black carriers were taken to Baliso and then to Bequia in 1797. They were put on British men of war as shown in the exile of Rotten Island. Rotten Island is the island
Right, that's off
after
belly.
Honduras.
That's Honduras.
Exactly. Which is a
Okay.
small island
Similar to
similar to Baliso,
Baliso. Mm-hmm.
to be found in many Central American countries.
Okay.
So they now have two bellies,
Right,
North
right.
America for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we find them all.
Okay, interesting.
This one is what people don't recognize.
What is this?
This is Greg.
Okay, this is Greg's. Okay.
Because people also only concentrate on fancy Oya.
Why I wouldn't say this is Greg's is because of the shoreline. I'm seeing a shoreline.
Greg. This is Shoreline, but
Uh-huh.
this is the Greg. Greg was the first settlement before they went further to north.
Right.
because those who escape run to Greg's first.
Right.
So always keep it in mind, 14th of March, the celebration also takes place
Mm-hmm.
at Greg's,
Mm-hmm.
not just Fancy
Right.
and Dorset.
Right.
Also, Greg's shouldn't be left out.
But they move obviously from the south where we are here and move all the way to the north
Exactly.
because Fancy, for those of you who don't know, is in the north of St. Vincent. That's just beyond the volcano.
And it didn't have this terrain of road, so they had
Right.
to use
So that
the mountain tops.
so
And
they were really chased there. They
exactly,
were
they were
chased from
from
the,
their
the
location. Because
location.
they escaped the exiling.
Good. Wow.
So I guess we should go up
Yeah.
and
Just
then
tell us what's happening in here.
basic history of the Fort Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Fort Charlotte, once a formidable complex of batteries, barracks, moats, powdered magazine, drawbridges,
Mm-hmm.
and outwork, was built with Herculean. Let's keep that one in
There's a
mind.
lot of information there.
Herculean means strong men.
Right.
A fort 636 feet, as I mentioned, above sea level.
Mm-hmm.
In the closing year of the 18th century, early 18th of the 1900, it was to be the chief defense of the island. Thought the Caribs had been subdued and the French supporters, which means the Caribs and the French was
Right.
more friends
Mm-hmm.
rather than the British.
Right.
The British and the French was no friends,
Mm-hmm.
but the Caribs and the French were all friends to the Caribs, which is tools, seeds,
Mm-hmm.
different things. And they bartered. Bartered in those times meaning they had money.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to barter.
Yeah,
And then,
exchange good for goods.
thank
Right.
you very much.
Right. So this in here was quarters.
Quarters
Okay.
was actually cells for in case of capture.
So if you capture the soldiers or
Exactly.
whoever your enemy is,
Definitely.
you put them in here, and we're gonna take a walk up
All the old English.
this cobblestone pavement, and
This is actually called a ramp
so this is a ramp that will take you up.
up to the top of the tower.
Hmm. And again, the view, you can see the Grenadines, and Iban said on a good day, you can see as far as Grenada to the south.
Yeah, actually slightly seeing Grenada at this point.
All right, the camera is unable to pick that up right now, but I could see a faint
Faint right now.
outline of an island to the south. All right, so we're to the top,
Here we are.
and we're once again we're at Fort Charlotte, St. Vincent.
As you can see,
What's that number now?
it's the date the cannon arrived.
Okay, there's the arrival
So
date of the cannon.
keep it in mind again.
So is it is 1916?
So the fort completed 1806.
Right.
So this is the 16th
So
of January,
oh, 18.
1819.
Okay, I had it backward. Right.
So 1819
Hmm.
is when this cannon arrived.
1819. So we're looking at a cannon here that is way older. Boy, I can't think of anything. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
These are called quarters.
Hmm.
So the guys that fire the guns
Hmm.
use these as curtains.
So if somebody
If they return fire,
right, they hide behind of this.
yes.
So it's a very thick wall,
And these are
and this is
the cuts to the cannon.
this is the whole of the
So
cannon.
these
Hmm.
used to be braced
So you brace against the wall here. You fire,
with a train.
and you notice you're pointing inland.
So that piece of
Uh-huh.
steel
Uh-huh.
used to have a train
Uh-huh.
to keep the cannon from backfiring
Ah.
and go over the ridge. So,
All right.
to hold it.
So when you go forward.
So if we come over to here,
Hmm.
let's climb up.
Hmm.
This piece of iron is older than me, you, and
So
everyone.
this iron will chain the cannon.
Yes, to keep it from rolling back when it fires.
Hmm.
Over here,
Hmm.
it's another Moat,
The Mort, right?
MOAT,
MO80.
and this is a dry moat.
Mm-hmm.
You may see it in those movies with castles with filled with waters and
Mm-hmm.
then maybe a few crocodiles or alligators.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But this one is a dry one.
Mm-hmm.
This one was a strategy for any attack,
Mm-hmm.
because in those days they didn't have electricity,
Mm-hmm.
and the enemy would have chose the darkest night to attack.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't expecting anything such as a ditch,
Mm-hmm.
and this would have been a dead pit, a
Mm-hmm.
trap
Mm-hmm.
to capture them.
So they were run and fall into this thing.
Exactly, and became captured.
Wow.
He may break a leg, sprain a leg, and
Mm-hmm.
there's became captured.
So if they run across from up here now, trying to
It,
come up,
yeah, it would be
right,
more difficult for you to
right,
get over
they fall along into this.
directly
Mm-hmm.
into the compound.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, keep it in mind,
Mm-hmm.
the fort was never used.
Mm-hmm.
All this
Mm-hmm.
was built
Mm-hmm.
for the purpose in the event of an attack.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of the Caribs attacking,
Mm-hmm.
the British went and attacked them, catch them off guard in the night
Mm-hmm.
while they were on a normal celebration,
Mm-hmm.
as Indians do,
Mm-hmm.
because we come from the Indian tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's why they call us West Indian.
Mm-hmm.
We have some sort of Indian tribe in us.
Mm-hmm.
So they have these nights they will use as they celebrate and keep warm,
Mm-hmm.
jump on the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So
Interesting.
caught them in a little spiritual way.
All right.
And so it was easy to reattack. Some may wonder why they have these steps. But these steps was built for purposes. These are fire ranges. Now, we didn't have repeated guns like
Mm-hmm.
M16 and those type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they had musket guns with fire one shot.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to make it work like it's automatic.
So you had to reload.
So you have three rows of men.
Mm-hmm.
First will step up, they
Mm-hmm.
fire. They step back. The third will step up, they
Ah, I
fire.
see what you mean. So
So it looks like
after each fire, there's another step up.
it seems like a repeated.
All right, and then while the first one who come back
Yeah,
down, he will reload and go back up.
exactly. That's
Okay,
what happened.
okay. So these steps
We're going for
were
that.
built for that purpose. So Iban, how you know all of this information? Somebody wanted to know how.
Well, it's just the same way naturally you go around, you ask history.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was born in the village,
Mm-hmm.
cowboy and Indian,
Mm-hmm.
as we know it.
Mm-hmm. So you
So
play a lot around the fort.
history is
Mm-hmm.
something that you should know.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know where you're going,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know where you come from, you
Mm-hmm.
don't know where you're going. That's how history says.
Right.
So learning history is good. And most of what I just said,
Mm-hmm.
I sure you can go to Google
And find that
and
information.
find most of what. Even if I misquote some of the info.
But best of your knowledge, that is what you were taught.
Yeah.
All right.
So I may not give you it in full diagram
Mm-hmm.
or in the full
Mm-hmm.
way they have it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll give you directly what was actually said. In George III, this is his property.
King George III.
Yeah.
And again, we see the number.
This is the dating
Mm-hmm.
year that it
Mm-hmm.
arrived.
Mm-hmm. And they said this is 1719.
Definitely.
No, this one is 1712.
1712.
Mm-hmm.
No, 1812.
Oh, 1812.
Yeah,
Okay.
the 16th of the first month,
1812.
1812.
Mm-hmm. And these numbers here,
Coordinates.
these are coordinates. That's
Yeah.
GPS markings or
Which
something.
means it tells the gunner
Mm-hmm.
how high or how low to
Mm-hmm.
point the gun.
Right. So you
Which
know the
means the tilting of the gun give you
right.
a different range
Mm-hmm.
of where you put your projectile is gonna land.
So more or less your azimuth and your elevation.
Yeah.
So
The
mm-hmm.
lower you drop
Mm-hmm.
the nozzle,
So you know
it's a short drop.
right.
But if you heist the nozzle up,
Mm-hmm. You know how far.
yeah, how high it gonna fall, go up to
Mm-hmm.
before it fall back.
Okay.
So they had knowledge
They
about
had
that.
some
Yeah, some
good
knowledge.
physics
Yeah.
calculation going on there. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up soon.
Yep.
Tell us what's happening now over here now from the view
Well,
here.
we know we have our shipyard,
So this is the shipyard from Fort
Otley
Charlotte.
Hall shipyard
This
as
is
well.
we're looking currently at Otley Hall as well as Camden Park.
Camden Park, Roman Bay,
Mhm.
Camden Park,
Mhm.
the Camden Park container port,
Mm.
all the industrial site.
Mhm.
And also you can see the beautiful plant houses building for the folks at the Rose
Right.
Place, who is
Right.
going to
Right.
replaced by the fisher folks who living on the sand at Bottomton, as
Okay.
we know as Rose Place.
Okay. So they're
So
going to
that
move
those are
here.
the replacement
Mm.
houses.
Okay. Okay.
So we have beyond Kittels, Camden Park, and
Mhm.
Chansey, Clay Valley, over the mountain, so on beyond.
So St. Vincent in the background, Kingstown. You saw earlier on this side, and we at the Fort Charlotte, uh, overlooking the Grenadines to the south, Grenada as well,
Yep,
and
coming over.
a beautiful day here on the island. Well, Iban, let me thank you for giving me that short tour
Definitely, it was a
and
pleasure.
providing me with your best knowledge as possible.
Thank you very
As
much.
as you said, let me just make sure that we say that you said this information based on your
Knowledge.
knowledge, based on your knowledge. So
Without,
you're not an expert.
and you're not seeing me with a paper
Right,
reading from,
right.
so you know it's
So
just
he's
what
not an expert, but he's telling me the information best of
is knowledge.
knowledge as much as
After 400 years that I've
for the
been
years
around,
that he's been around, and obviously he's a worker here as well.
definitely.
So he will definitely have some information.
Born and grew around here.
Right.
And we also know, as before we go, that
Mm-hmm.
entrance where you see that gate
Mm-hmm.
is the entrance to the old
So the
female prison,
so the entrance to the old female prison.
also the gallows
Mm-hmm.
where we do our punishment,
Mm-hmm.
which has not been used for many years.
Right. How long now this prison is out of commission?
2015,
2015. So it's not the prison is no longer here.
no longer there.
Okay.
They don't have Kingston.
Okay. So folks, Ivan, let me thank you again,
You're welcome, my brother.
and you have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the lovely day here on the island.
Thank you, Mr. Rennie.
All
It's
right.
always a pleasure having you.
All right,
And
Ivan.
it's always a pleasure to give the history of our nice and beautiful, wonderful country.
What would you say to visitors who are looking and listening at this broadcast?
It will be a pleasure to have them anytime and to share it with them at any moment.
All right, Ivan. Well, folks, here's where we're gonna wrap it up, and we hope that you enjoy it and you learn a little about Fort Charlotte here in St. Vincent. And feel free to visit when you have some time. And till we meet again, my name is Rennie King, and let me ask you to kindly subscribe and like both our Facebook as well as our YouTube channel, and you'll get the alerts when we go live from time to time. Let me also thank Jazzy's for being a part of this as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you.